Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Ryfield Models future release of the Panzer III. We've also got the little upgrade set for it. Okay, so future release. Every now and again, very rarely I must admit, I do get a little sneak peek of a kit, and so luckily we've been able to get hold of Ryfield's next big release, which is their Panzer III kit. Again, we've got the upgrade set for it as well. Apparently this kit is not going to be available, or in the UK at least, until next year. This is maybe one of the pre-production runs, so I'd just like to point out there, things may change a little bit by the time you get your kit. So, what do we got? Down in here, as you can see, beautiful box art of the, I always think it's overlooked, the Panzer III. Obviously you think of the 4s and obviously the later Tigers and Panthers and King Tigers and things like that. But yeah, really, really nice tank. Okay, usual Ryfield way, you can see some of the nice things with this kit. Obviously we've got detail running right the way through, obviously the parts, but also very nice sort of link and length track system with workable suspension as well. Okay, kit number for this one is 5070. Okay, and we've got some of the marking options that have been done by MIG as well down in there like that. Okay, so in the box you are greeted by, and I haven't seen any of this whatsoever, we've got various sprues, as we can see, all in the nice sort of sandy colour plastic, as you can see. There's your tracks, which apparently are somewhat workable. Okay, got the main areas, and then down in here we got various small parts down in there. Look, do you know what? I don't know. I'll reserve judgment on that. It looks like a, yeah. Anyway, armour plates. Got the turret, looks very nice. And again, it's the kit that keeps giving. Got lots of stuff in here, as you can see. And we got an aftermarket set as well for it. So down in here, you can get this all out in one without it sticking to the bag. As you can see, we've got a spring. We've got various pins, we imagine, for the track being pinned, being workable. Okay, polycaps, usual things. We've got the clear parts for the viewing ports, whatnot. It looks like we've got some photo etch in there like that. And again, we've got more pins probably for the other side. And we've got a small jig, I assume, as well for making the gear up just like that. We've also, as I say, straight into the instructions then. Again, various parts all down in there. You get an idea for this one, so it looks like it is full workable suspension and the various parts going down in here. So you're making up basically the lower hull and all the suspension for this one. It's Torsion Bar Suspension system running right the way through, so obviously don't glue it in place, and that way you will have working suspension. Same thing down in here for these sort of dampeners going into this one, not to be glued because it is all workable as that one goes right the way through. Okay, exactly the same will be on the other side as you're going through, and then working on the end plate for that one, putting in all the various parts as you might imagine. We've got the wheel system, so we've got the idler, this one up in here, and we've got the drive sprocket, as you might imagine, being fitted right the way through. Okay, polycaps being fitted right the way in, and they're all going to be push on. Got the return wheels going in over the top again. Remember, just don't glue anything because it is all workable. And then we've got the various parts and photo etch going in to make up that sort of lower hull section. We do have the hatches, so you can either have them open or closed. And again, it's talking about putting the extra tracks as extra armour on the front, things like that. And then you've got the actual tracks. So again, they are workable because they're pinned. So you're using that small jig and these, putting it all in there like that. And then you're going to be doing the usual push in and glue. So you glue these pins in and then that will hold it all together. It looks like they're not actually, you know, just one of these where they wedge in. It is saying about a small part of glue, putting those in there like that. Okay, so putting those in. All right, the other parts all going in. So we've got the jack system going in there. And then as you might imagine, we've got a lot of the equipment being fitted in right on the top. So you've got photo etch making up some nice areas on these ones, as well as adding all the small details. So we've got some of the boxes, spare wheels, all the usual things being fitted above the actual tracks. All the tools, so obviously we've got all the usual things, axes, shovels, you know, things like that being fitted in there. All the parts, and as you can see, even on the underside, small little lower parts, little bits of photo etch going in there to really make the detail on this one. Same with those, both of those together, and then you can plonk them down on the top. Okay, working your way down into this one, so we've actually got the bow gun. Okay, so we've got the MG being fitted down into this one, so that one's being in the side, and you've got the driver's Pz.Kpfw.III down in there, and then obviously we've got the top part of making the box section, which is going to come down and then drop in on the top. Okay, and then literally just going through, so we've got the extra armour being fitted onto this one, so you've got that one's in there. So if you're doing that one, I don't know if it's separate to this one, but it looks like it isn't. Okay, being fitted on there, and then we've got the hatches, various things being fitted onto the top as well, right the way through. Although it's not a fully detailed one, there is detail nicely on the hatches. Tow cables, which actually go round all the rear hatches, things like that, being fitted down, and then be placing that all on the back, and then working our way at the top. So we've actually got the gun being fitted on there, and obviously we get a full breech on the gun as well for the rear, and the mantle, various things being fitted down onto that one. So it looks somewhat very, very detailed as you're going to be looking in through the top, although you don't get full detail right the way through. Turret itself being completed off then with all the various parts being added onto that one. Seats or stands, whichever way you're looking at it, going in. So from a point of view from the turret to even the side one open, you'll be able to have enough in there, I think, to actually get away with it not being fully detailed, but it's near as damn it as from what you're going to see. So as you can see down in here, once it's all opened up, it'll be very, very busy in there to get away with it. And then obviously we've got the commander's port and then the loader's port and things like that being fitted down on here. Got the rear stowage bin being fitted on and going in the back there. Turret on, don't glue it, good to go. Okay, then you've obviously got your colour call-outs done by Mig. So Mig's been very busy and done a sand one. We've done a different coloured sand one and another type of sandy coloured one as well. So take your pick, 3 colours of ground, or you could do a nice sandy with a little bit of brown on there as well. Okay, very nice charts right the way through like that. Couple of decal options on there. Looks to be very, very nice, to be honest with you. Okay, so looking at some of the smaller parts, we've got just down in here, we've got that photo etch. Okay, so again, just off the bat, we've got some photo etch. We've got something else to talk about in a moment, but that's what you're going to get in the kit. And then around here, we've actually got the decals. So you've got your 3 options in there, just like that. We've got some poly caps as well, as you might imagine. We've got a spring. Okay, so you get 1 spring and a zip bag. We've got the track little form. Okay, for putting them all together. All the pins, so you've got 2 bags of pins, excuse me, for your left and right. And then we've got the clear parts, which will be clear because they're nice and flat and they're right filled and they're always very, very nice indeed. Okay, so that's those. Then we've got the turret, which I don't think we really need to get this out. I think you can see it. As I say, there's nice details down in here. No real problems with any of that whatsoever. That's actually pretty cool. We've got here, which is obviously the rear deck for the underneath the engines. Pretty much all detail on the surface. Not too much going on, as you might imagine. That, so in, I can't get in the bags. In our first bag, we've got basically the lower hull section. Okay, so as you can see it in here, all looks very, very, very nice. Very sharp. Okay, so moving around on the close-up, you can probably see beautiful details. The teeth area for the drive, for the turret, all the various areas. Got the blade down here for the rear, all the smaller parts. Again, they're all looking very, very nice indeed. Can't fault any of those. Got the rear, oh sorry, the bottom I should say, with all the lovely surface detail. Nothing really in here because you're going to put them all in there. You're not going to see it anyway, but it's down in there. But these are beautifully done, very sharp, very good 90 degree. Everything feels quite sharp, and I always say it's a good sign of a model. When you run your finger over it and it feels quite edgy, it's good sharp detail, so very nice as well. And on these, and all the bolts, very sharp on the finger. So again, good crisp detail right the way through on all of those. That's sprue B. The tracks, as you can see, comes in a bag. Hours of fun, but actually they are going to be workable, so it will be worth it. Okay. Then, let me just jump into this one. I think somebody's been in this bag before me. I feel it. Okay, so as you can see, we've got that rear stowage bin just on there like that on D, and we've actually got the bottom of the turret. And then obviously we've got the gun mantle, the various areas onto it like this one. We've got the barrel gun part of that over here. And as we work our way down, we've got all the areas for the gun. We've got the breech there and all the different areas, as you might imagine, right the way through. All of it's very, very nicely done. Right the way down to these tiny little parts down in here. Like, how small is that little guy? He's absolutely microscopic, but he's held in there with a tiny little bit of a sprue gate. Very nice sound. But all the sprue gates do tend to be quite small on the delicate parts. The bigger parts, it's not so bad, but definitely on the smaller parts. On the actual underside like this, usual thing with Ryefield, the ejector pins can have a little bit of an edge to them, so you just want to make sure if you're doing mating surfaces to make sure they are down and out the way, but generally everywhere else is really very, very nicely done with that one. Very good. Okay, and then we've got in here on screw A, again, we've got this one in here. Again, tow cables look absolutely fantastic there, don't they? And again, really nice details on the surface, good sharp details. But again, those towing cables close up look beautiful, very, very nicely done. The checker anti-slip on the top here, really good, nice. And again, all of these small little dots and various things you see, like they're sharp, really are sharp to the finger. Okay, so very, very nicely done as well. So we've got the bow sort of driver's port here, and then we've got the gunner's port on the front there. All the various parts in here looking very, very nice indeed. Again, good sharp details right the way through. And we've got some of the equipment, shovels and spades and cutters and various things like that. Very nice, got axes, got the jack, all of those looking good. Got the usual thing with Ryefield, you do tend to get a few of these sticking up, so just make sure you get them out of the way, and all the rest of it you'll be absolutely fine on there. So that looks very nice indeed. Last up, we got the wheels. Okay, so obviously we've got a dual sprue with both of these, so we just need to look at one. And again, really very, very nice. It all feels quite sharp. Good details on all of these. Yeah, no, it does look very, very nice. So I suppose we can go side by side, you can see. So obviously idlers and drive sprockets, return wheels, road wheels, all the various things, all the suspension, all the dampeners, everything looking very, very nice indeed. And down on the other side, so obviously this is the torsion bar suspension system that's going to go in there and make it somewhat workable. So that's actually a very nice touch. But it doesn't stop there. Now what we've got here is this. Now this is an optional upgrade set for it, so it doesn't come with the kit, but your number for this one is 2005. But in here you do get a lovely big bit of photo etch, as you can see here, and a lovely piece of resin in the box. So we get a little towing cable as well, which looks like thread to me. Okay, and then we get this lovely bit of photo etch for really adding detail down into it, just like that. Okay, so we get that one as well, which looks like it's had a knock in the bag. And we get this, which if I had a degree in something, I could get into it. Oh, there we go. Okay, and again, very, very nicely done. So what we got down in here is to replace the towing system. I'll be honest with you, it looked very nice to me. But you can see this is this 3D printed in resin. Looking very, very nice. Doesn't smell either. Some of them stink, but this one doesn't. So again, we're seeing this more and more and more recently, but these are 3D printed, but it's with a resin system, so it's not like filament printing as you might think. This is the beautiful one. This is the very sharp. There's no textures or any lines in them and all the rest of it. Looking very, very nice. And again, to be honest with you, nice little travel case. Keeps it from rattling around and moving around and everything. So that's down in there. The instructions to show you in here. So again, really it's going to show you what you're going to be working within. So again, very, very nicely done. So we've got this trunk down in here, photo etch, making that one up right the way through. Obviously the bars, all the details, just to add that next level of detail right the way through. Just adding a little bit here and there, just to upscale the entire thing. And again, this is that replacing the toe. I'll be honest, I thought that was very nice, didn't need it. But if you did want to, you've got the option in there like that. And then again, for the stowage bin at the rear, a lot more in scale. If you wanted to show it open, definitely would be a nice option to do it in that one, just like that. Very, very nice indeed. And there you have it. So, a little bit of a coup for us. Doesn't happen very often, but there we go. That is the Panzer III, the brand new to be released 1/35th scale kit by Ryefield Models.